Welcome to Off Court Cuts. What a day we had. Men's semifinals, unbelievable matches. Five-set epic with Zverev and Carlos Alcaraz. A little controversy there. Was he cramping? He threw up at 3-2 in that third set, wasn't feeling well, was talking to his team. And then the GOAT surprises the world, beats the defending champion. Sinner was trying to have a three-peat down under in Australia. The last man to do that was Novak Djokovic, but it's not happening. He's shocked the world. I didn't see this happening today whatsoever with Novak. I thought Novak was going to get crunched, especially not playing well against Musetti, being a little bit fortunate 2-0 down, but what drama. But Kevin, we have to start with that opening match today, the five-set match where Zverev served for it, all the controversies. What's your view on that opening five-setter we had?
Well, it's interesting watching the press conference because the big controversy was that Zverev got very vocal about. He was really annoyed that Carlos was given an injury timeout for what looked like cramp. So now Carlos is claiming that he has a leg injury, and that was what he thought it was. And the press were asking him about it, whether or not it was a genuine injury. Zverev, I think, in my opinion, had a right to ask if it was cramp. Why is he getting an injury timeout? Because as we know, you don't get injury timeouts for cramp. So what was your thoughts, Greg? It looked like he sort of maybe bent the rules a little bit or used them to his advantage. What would you say?
Well, I think he used them to his advantage. I think you've got to look at the whole situation. Opening set, Alcaraz pretty comfortable. Sasha Zverev serves for the second set, gets broken, losing a tiebreaker 3-2. We saw him go over to his team, speak in Spanish, and basically say, look, I'm feeling ill. I'm feeling unwell. I can't drink anything. I can't keep anything down. We see him being sick in the towel on two occasions, keeping it very discreetly. And then all of a sudden, he's cramping out there. There's no question about it. I mean, I was listening to the comms. Curry was saying there's no doubt he shouldn't be getting this extra time, this extra 2 or 3 minutes as a medical timeout. Zverev was in his right to get super angry. It fired him up. It got him to win the next two sets, push it to a decider. He was leading all the way, 5-4 serving for the match. Just so tentative on those short approach shot balls coming in, giving hope to Carlos, and that's all you have to do is give him an inch and he'll take a mile. This is one where Sasha Zverev is not going to sleep because he should have been in the finals. Carlos found a way. And how do you know Novak Djokovic was going to be in the finals instead of Sinner? I mean, it's even more mind-boggling what happened today.
I was looking at the Zverev performance there, and up to the point where he was on the brink of serving for the match. He was doing what we said he needed to do. He was being more aggressive. He was going after it. But then when push and shove collided at the end and the pressure came on, he kind of went back into his shell a little bit again and let Carlos back in. But how amazing is Carlos Alcaraz at this tender age? I saw a stat that he'd been in 10 of the first 20 Grand Slam semifinals he's contested. I mean, it's just insane. But to get himself back into that when he was gone, he was raising the crowd. He's like an experienced player at the age of 23. We've never seen anything like this, have we?
Well, we haven't. And also on top of that, he's in his first Australian Open final, trying to be one of the youngest players to ever win all four majors to hold them. So incredible scenes, incredible mental fortitude. And, I feel bad for Zverev at the moment because I feel like he should have found a way to push through. He's on the brink. He is so close. And for me right now, he's the best player to ever play the game that hasn't won a major yet. That's how good, how consistent he has been. And fortune favors the brave. You look at Novak, a few majors that he snuck away from Federer in the semis, the US Open, when he went for two massive returns down match point. When Federer had those match points against him at the Wimbledon Championship in 2019. Djokovic, when the pressure came on, got bold, he got brave. That's where Zverev still has time to win a major, but he can't keep on letting these opportunities go. But Carlos, that's what makes him so special and so different. He finds solutions, finds a way, and now we've got a final. We thought it was going to be Carlos Alcaraz and Yannick Sinner. No, it's Novak
No.
Djokovic. Maybe Novak should go talk to the guy in the press conference who said to him, you were chasing Federer and Nadal, now you're chasing Sinner Alcaraz. I think that might have just wound him up a little bit too much because he reminded the journalist, they're chasing me. I have 24 majors. For 10 years, he dominated our sport. It was unbelievable what he's done. And to be where he's at after not winning a set since the third round. So he had a walkover in the fourth round, down 2-0 against Musetti, and to have a performance like tonight was just incredible. He's going for Grand Slam number 25. That'll be the most in the men's and women's game in singles in the history of our sport. And here's a great stat for you: never lost an Australian Open final. So, if he keeps that record alive, 25 it is, but I'm sure Carlos has something to say about it.
Do you know what? We were down at Talk Sport yesterday, and I said to you, why is Novak Djokovic still playing? And you looked at me like, well, why not? The guy's number 4 in the world. He's earning loads of money. He's enjoying it. He's having a great time. He certainly shot me up today, and he's proved everybody wrong again. And as you say, never write off the greats.
Yeah, I did that with Sampras. I lost to Sampras in 2002. He was a step and a half slow. He wasn't winning matches. He lost to George Bastel in the second round of Wimbledon, which used to be his home. He dominated that tournament for years. I said after the press conference, I'd set points in every set apart from the fifth set, which I lost. And I said, there's no way he's going to get through. There's no way he's going to win. He goes on, he beats Haas, Ruddock, Agassi, and then wins the finals at the U.S. Open. And that's the last tournament he ever played. I will never make that mistake again of ever discounting Novak Djokovic. These great champions have something a little bit extra, and health is your wealth. And he just proved the world wrong. I guarantee you, there's almost nobody who picked Djokovic to win that match. Everybody's favorite for the tournament was Sinner. I think just makes for the most intriguing men's final we've had in a long time. It's been over 2 years now since Novak has been in a major final, and to do so down under at his favorite slam is just incredible.
The manner he did it in, Greg, was even more extraordinary because he's 39 in May, and to be able to play for that long at that level still quite remarkable. One question that I would have, you bring up the Pete Sampras run that you kind of wrote off before it happened. In a way, that was the perfect way to end any sporting career. His last shot he ever hit was in a Grand Slam final. If Novak wins on Sunday, surely that's the perfect way for him to end, 25 and out. Would that even cross his mind, do you think?
I don't think it's crossing his mind. He's just trying to win another major. And if he can win the Australian Open, why can't he win Wimbledon? That's where most people think his best chance is. And, Novak will make the decisions for himself. He's already talked about being ready for the Olympics coming up, having gotten the gold medal finally in Paris, which he did 2 years ago, which was big on his list. So, no, I don't think he's going to retire. Maybe it'll be the storybook ending everybody would want, but I think he believes there's more in the tank. We also got to look at a statistic about his forehand. His forehand speed is up this year already. So he's made a little technical change with his coaching team, and just so mentally tough. And, he's still got that chip on his shoulder, and that's a huge driver. He doesn't need to have it, but he does, and that helps him. So please, somebody ask him another silly question in the press conference before this finals, because I cannot wait for Sunday.
Who's the fittest of the two, do you think? Carlos looked wiped out halfway through the match and then looked very tired at the end. Novak's got a feel from that. Who's got the balance of power in terms of fitness going into Sunday?
Well, the nice thing is they both have a day off. Djokovic has finished very late down under in Australia. He won't sleep for a while. He'd probably take the full day off. Carlos has a little bit more time to recover. The question is what's his stomach like? I'm sure he's going to probably be on an IV. He's probably going to get something to make sure his stomach is fine, get the cramping out. And I think he'll be ready to go on Sunday. The question which I'm going to ask is, who's the crowd going to be behind? Do they want the young gun, or do they want to see Djokovic get 25? This is going to be intriguing. And when you're 23, you're like an elastic. You can bounce back in 24 hours, and he's got 48 hours to get ready. Djokovic, at the other hand, 38 years young, it's a little bit harder. And this was the longest match he's played in a long time, but his team is going to be working extra hours. And one thing Novak knows is how to push through pain. We're going to see if that body is going to be able to survive in the finals. People have said to him, I don't think he can beat Sinner, Alcaraz back to back. He might just prove the world wrong at a major. He's got the shot on Sunday.
We're about to find out. Greg, we should chat about the women's final just quickly before we wrap up. What's your thoughts on what should be an intriguing match between Sabalenka and Rebacca?
Well, everybody's pick for the title was Sabalenka to start it. My pick was Rebacca. So I've got to stick with my pick. The last time they met in the Australian Open finals, Rebacca won the first set, lost in 3 to Sabalenka. Sabalenka's movement is better than Rebacca, but Rebacca's strike and serve is slightly better than Sabalenka. So the big question is Sabalenka going to be able to dictate and move Rebacca? We saw at the WTA finals in Saudi at the end of the year. Rebacca was the one who dictated and dominated Sabalenka. This is outdoors. Conditions are different. It's a bit of a toss up. I'm going to stay with my pick, but I'm not 100% confident because of how well Sabalenka has played throughout these championships.
Rebacca got the better of Sabalenka in the WTA finals not so long ago. So that does suggest that she has it. But I just sometimes feel that at the back end of matches, Rebacca can get quite tight. And we've seen Sabalenka do the same, obviously. So it's going to be one of those, hopefully a 3-set match, because we haven't had too many great women's matches in this Australian Open. We've certainly made up for great matches with the men's semis. It'd be great to see a brilliant women's final, hopefully.
Yeah, no question about it. But I think this could be the new rivalry. In the last 6 months, Rebecca has talked about, having her coach back, which is also, I believe, her partner, and then the rest of the team who've done a great job. And she's been a different player. And I think she has a lot to prove because of what happened to her the opening 6 months of 2025 and not being able to have the team she wanted around her. So this has everything for a blockbuster final. As you said in the women's game, there hasn't been any 3 sets out there. In the men's game, we were complaining no 5-setters, and we had back-to-back today. So what more can you ask for? So thanks everybody for joining us on this Off-Court Cuts with myself, Greg Rusedski, and Kevin Palmer. And keep listening to us because we're going to be doing daily episodes until the end of the Australian Open. Thanks for joining us.